friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. I have a fun personal project that I feel like maybe you would be interested in making as well. So my grandma is coming into town, and as far back as I could remember, my grandma has been addicted to Diet Coke. No kidding. She doesn't drink water. She don't drink coffee, nothing. She only drinks Diet Coke. And of course, because I am her granddaughter, she absolutely loves anything and everything that I make. So when she comes here, I want to have a fun surprise for her, and I am going to make a sublimation tumbler that is like a Diet Coke. She can just take her canned Diet Cokes and put them in here, and she can sip on it. But instead of it saying Diet Coke, I want it to be her name, but I want it to look and kind of feel like it's a Diet Coke. So she, kind of gets that entire vibe. I want to do like a personalized tumbler for her. These are from Hippo. All of the supplies that I'll use will be linked in the description of the video, but I'm going to be using their sublimation paper, their sublimation ink, and they also sent me some stainless steel tumblers. And these ones, I actually like these ones because they don't have a straw. I am not really a straw drinker. I mean, I have a cup right here and no straw. So I like the fact that these do not have a straw. That being said, you are also going to need a tumbler press. The one that I'm going to be using is made from Craft Express. That'll also be linked in the description of the video. And you'll need a sublimation printer for this. I am going to do all the design work in Design Space. That is essentially the gist of what we're going to need outside of like scissors. And then you are going to need a fabric measuring tape. So let's get started. I'm so pumped. And I actually really hope that she likes her tumbler. Fingers crossed. Okay, so I'm gonna make myself small, and here is a blank canvas in Design Space. We are gonna start from the very beginning. You are gonna need two fonts. They'll be linked in the description of the video, and they are the exact fonts for Diet Coke. So if you are looking for those fonts, they'll be linked in the video. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start off with is I'm just going to take a text box, and I'm gonna put my grandma's first name. Her name is Jackie. And then I'm going to do another text box, and I'm going to do her last name, which is Solomon. Okay, at the very top right here, I am going to click on Jackie, and I'm going to go up here into font, and I'm going to change this over from system. And this one right here is called Loki or Loci. So there is the top portion. This is like what it would say this diet. I'll show you here a picture here in a second. Okay, and then for Solomon, I'm going to go over here and click that font box and go back over into system. And then the bottom portion is a downloaded font called U 2012. Doesn't this already scream Diet Coke? I mean, for me, it looks like it screams Diet Coke. So I'm just going to drag this down and just kind of arrange it. Oops, nope, don't want to resize it. I'm going to drag that down and kind of arrange it to where it looks really cute. I'm going to go up here. Okay, so if you open up your Safari, you are going to notice that they're like in a Diet Coke, because I like what does a Diet Coke can look like, I had seen like this white, you see this white one right here, or this silver one, you see this like white line? I want that white line. So I'm just gonna go over here, I'm gonna add a tab, I'm gonna do Diet Coke swoosh. And then we'll go over here into images, and conveniently, the internet has everything. My goodness, conveniently, there is a swoosh right here. Perfect. I'm going to go down here into this smaller one right here, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to do open image in new tab. A new tab will pop up, and we're just going to click on the new tab. And now I'm going to screenshot it. So Command Shift 4 on your keyboard if you're on a Mac, and I'm going to drag a box around just that red portion. You only want that red little swoosh. I'm going to go back into Design Space. I'm going to do upload and then do upload image. Now I need to drag my swoosh screenshot over into Design Space, and I'm going to do complex. Then we're going to press continue. Okay, if you were to continue and not do anything at this point, if I press apply, you're going to get this box. I know I've seen a lot of people are like, why am I trying to upload this? And you get this box. We're going to go back. Okay, you need to remove the background. You can do it one of two ways. The automatic background does a remove background. I have noticed that I don't really care to do it this way just because the lines don't seem to be as crisp. What I like to do is go down in here into more options and then scroll down, and I'm going to do the color tolerance, and I'm going to bump that tolerance up. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to click that white box, and you can go here into preview cut and see how the line is like nice and smooth. Okay, so when we have just that swoosh, we're going to go over here into apply and continue. And you see how now there is like the actual swoosh for the cutout instead of that box. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to rename this to Diet Coke Swoosh. And I'm going to click on cut image. I don't want to print then cut this because I want to change the color of it. And then I'm going to press upload. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to click that swoosh and I'm going to add to canvas. And it's really big, large and in charge. So I'm just going to resize this and I'm going to put it underneath my grandma's name. Okay, and I think I'm going to want it the same length as her last name of Solomon. So I'm going to click on that Solomon. Her last name is we'll just copy this. And then I'm going to click on the swoosh and I'm going to change the width, double click and paste it and press enter. So now it's the same width. Okay, and then I'm going to change this over into white because in the original image, our Diet Coke can, that little swoosh is white. So I'm going to change it over to white and I'm going to send this to the back. So arrange it to the back. And then I'm just going to bump this up to where it meets with Solomon. And then just to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be and completely centered with each other, I'm only going to select her last name and that swoosh and I'm going to align it horizontally. And then let's see here. Let's rearrange her name. Okay. So it looks like with a Diet Coke can, it's like some red and then some black. Sometimes for this, it's pretty simple because it's red and it's like, I mean, you can't go wrong with choosing a red. But I want to make sure that the colors is the same colors. So I'm going to do Command Shift 4 and I'm just going to take a screenshot of this can. I'm going to let it go onto my desktop and I'm going to open up a new window. I'm going to go to imagecolorpicker.com. I absolutely love this website for matching colors to specific items, especially when it comes to like matching for, for this can. So we're going to go into use image and I'm just going to drag over my screenshot and there it is. Look at that. So now I'm just going to hover over. You see how we have all this like weird pixelation stuff? Just hover over that red and click on it. And you see this hex code. Double click that and press copy. Go back into design space. And her last name is the one that we need to change over to red. We're going to go over here, click the name, click on that color, do advanced. And then this right here, double click that and we're going to Command V, which is paste. And then do you see how it changed to red? And it's most perfect red to match this Diet Coke can. Okay, we're going to go out of that and let's just double check Jackie. We're going to go back over into the image color. I'm going to hover over. I mean, it's black. I'm sure it's black. But then you're just going to double click, copy, going back over here, come up into the color, select all, and we're going to paste it and then click out of it. Is this not screaming Diet Coke to you? I feel like it's screaming Diet Coke to me. Okay, so now we need our aluminum can background. I mean, we could just make it, like a gray flat background, but like I want to be extra. I want to make sure that this looks like a Diet Coke. So what we need is a background. So we're going to go over into our internet browser and we're going to open up a new window in our internet browser and we are going to search up an aluminum background and press go. Go over into images and this is where you're just going to choose whichever can that looks, the aluminum looks like what you want it to look like. Do we want it like a dark aluminum? I don't think we want a crumpled one. We want like one that looks like it's a can. Let's go. Oh, and you're also going to want one that does not have watermark and then another one that is high resolution. So 800 is decent. This one right here is also 800, but it has a watermark. So we're just looking for one that does not have a watermark. This one right here is good. Woo. And it's 3000 pixels. The only problem is like those corners. Do you see how they're dark on the corners? I don't want that. I want one that just looks. Okay. This one right here has no watermarks. It's free of, it's free of watermarks. It's 800 pixels. It's all right. We're not trying to be perfect, but we want it to look like a can. So I'm going to right click that and I'm going to open in new image and we're going to Command Shift 4 and we are just going to create a box around that image that we're wanting. There it is. Okay, going back over into design space. So we're going to do upload and instead of doing a pattern fill, we're going to do image and I'm dragging my screenshot over. Doing complex and doing continue. We're not going to do anything because this is exactly what we want it to look like. We're going to press apply and continue. We're going to do it a print then cut image. And I'm going to make sure and rename this the aluminum background and then press upload. If I were to upload this into pattern fill and then make it a background, it's really hard to refine at a later time. So I always just do it like, see how these right here are technically backgrounds. I always just upload them just because later on they're just easier to find. Okay, there it is. Now what you want to do is take your tumbler, whichever one that you're using, and we need to resize this. Mine is 8 inches tall, so we'll do wide 8 inches, and then we're gonna wrap around. Okay, my tumbler is just shy of 9.5 inches. So I'm just gonna do it as 9.5. And then I'm gonna change this over 90 degrees, and then I'm gonna arrange this to the back. Okay, this right here, our name and the logo is like a lot smaller, and I want it to be bigger. So I'm gonna select all 3 of the swoosh and the 2 names, and I'm just gonna make this bigger so it fills up the entire cup. Okay, now this is our sublimation print. Do you see how there's a harsh line in the red, but then also in the white, right? You see that black line in the white? Let's select all of this, and we're gonna do option F. And do you see how now that dark line for the white and the red went away? That's what we're looking for, and it's gonna get you the best print that you could possibly get for this. Okay, and I did a keyboard shortcut of option F, which is on my keyboard for my Mac, which is essentially flattening. You could right click and then do flatten right here, or if we come up here, there's an unflatten right here. So there's 3 different options now of how to do that. Okay, we are done with the print. This is our print. This is what our print is going to look like. So now what I want to do is take a screenshot of this. I'm going to zoom in as close as possible so I can get the best and crispest screenshot there is. Okay, I'm going to make sure, see how we are super close. And if I go in one more, we're going to cut off like the top and the bottom. I don't want that. So I'm going to go just back one more, and I'm pretty much my entire screen is filled in. And I'm going to Command Shift 4, which is taking a screenshot, and I'm going to draw a box around just my print. Okay, we're going to let that go onto our desktop. Then what you want to do is open up a Pages or a Word document with just a blank page. Okay, then we're going to drag in our screenshot that we took. And we need to resize this to what we originally had. So for this, 9.5 by 8 inches. So we're gonna go back over into our pages and we're gonna resize this. It should be perfect sizing. So let's do this one. We're gonna do 9.5 inches. And then it's like 8 inches, 8.03. Okay, it's going to get cut off. So we're going to change this over 90 degrees and we're going to line this up in our Pages document. And then what you need to do is we need to print this. I mean, this was the easiest print ever. So easy. So I am going to Command P, which is print, and I'm going to connect to my Epson printer. I only want to do one page. Going down over into Pages, Media Quality, and I'm going to change this over into Photo Matte Paper. And then I'm going to go into Media again and then do Layout. And I'm going to flip this horizontally. If you can read your sublimation print, stop and do not print. It should not be legible to you before you print it. So right now I'm looking at it and I can't read it. So that means that I have set this up properly. Then all you want to do is send this to your printer. Just press print. And then we need to start warming up our tumbler press so we can press this once it's done. As my heat press heats up, I'm going to prep my print. I'm just going to take my guillotine cutter. You can take scissors if you wanted to. And I'm just going to trim up all the edges of my print. Okay, when I have that done, I'm just going to flip this over. I am only going to do tape on one side of my print. So taking some tape, I might hang it over just a little bit. You can see the back, I only have one, and it's going to be on the shorter side. And then I flip it over and everything is no tape. There's no tape that's over on the other side of this. It's just hanging off on the side. Then what I'm going to do is let's see here. I want the start of her name to be on the top of my mouth. So I'm just going to do it like this, line it up as best as possible. Okay, then I'm going to roll the side that has the tape. You're going to lay that flat first. and then roll this portion up, just like that. Okay, in order to make sure that it's completely level, what I like to do is just lay it on my table. Okay, I'm gonna lay it on my table and make sure that it's completely level on all the sides. The two corners on top and bottom are completely lined. If they are askew, that means that your print is also going to be messed up. Okay, when I have it aligned just perfectly, I'm gonna take a little bit more tape, put it on one side, and we're just making sure that it's really tight together. Okay, when I have that, I'm gonna just do one more piece of tape. I'm gonna go right down the seam. So I'm gonna leave it like this. I do know people that do like the outside portion of this and tape it, and they tape the top too. I don't necessarily find that there makes it better or worse that way, so I'm just gonna keep it this way. You can see her print is already on there. Oh my gosh, look at that, how cute. Okay, and so for my tumbler, it says to press it at 356 for 50 seconds. I always like to put my tumbler in like this, like with the seam facing out, and we're just going to clamp this down and let this go for 50 seconds. Okay, when that's done, I'm just going to flip this 45 degrees, just like that, and we're gonna press it again for another 50 seconds. The reason why we do that is because at the very top of this, it doesn't close all the way, so you're left with a gap, so we're gonna try and get that gap to go away. Okay, open it up. Let's see what we got. We're gonna just lay this down. Okay, what I always like to do is, let's just peek. We're gonna open just a little bit, and we're just going to peek at it to see if it is on our tumbler. And it looks like, just from that peeking, do you see how our print is not really on our paper anymore? It's on our tumbler. Looks good. So then, taking that little flap that we created, and I'm just gonna pull, ripping that off. And look at that. How stinking cute. Oh my goodness, does this not look like a Diet Coke can to you? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm freaking obsessed. Okay, so we did not tape the edges, right? And whoop, this is very hot. See how the print on one side of the print got darker and lighter, so that's why you're gonna have this like weird looking thing on the back. But then on the front, do you see that? Yes. Perfect. Oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. And then we didn't tape off the edges, and everything is still crisp on both of these sides. Look at how cute. I'm obsessed. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I will see you later.